Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced EP is a representative from EP Master Gardeners, Mr. Eduardo Rascon. Sir, thank you for joining me today.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having us, and thank you for allowing us to have this space
No, no,
today.
I appreciate you coming on. It's so cool that I'll be honest, I stumbled upon your guys's IG page, and it was so cool what you guys do.
Mhm.
Talk talk
Thank you.
talk talk a little bit about the EP Master Gardeners webpage there.
Yes, definitely. The Master Gardeners of El Paso are a nonprofit association that is attached to Agrife Extension, which is a an outreach educational agency. So we're uh, tasked with the we're basically doing outreach education in terms of all horticulture related knowledge for the area. Basically, gardening information, information regarding trees, ornamental plants, vegetable plants. So I know that we live in a desert, but uh, believe it or not, we have such a long season to grow things
Mhm.
that we want to encourage people to continue growing their vegetables while saving water, but also enjoy their trees, how to plant the correct trees, how to actually encourage people to plant native plants. So it's we wouldn't be able to do it without the volunteers. So uh, the volunteers are the prime uh, of kind of like the people who are always there in the community doing that outreach education.
That's so cool. I mean, like you guys do everything from like you guys do you even like have like, like classes or develop professional development or developments like, to help the community, kind of like be aware of like, how to maybe grow the plants and what to do, like how to plant them, what fertilizer, when to water, stuff like that.
We do. So actually the volunteers number one, we do have classes to become a master gardener, which are 12 weeks of education. Those ones start in fall, so it starts in August and it goes all the way to November. We'll post a little bit more information on our social media when that comes to be. But then we also have multiple uh, courses throughout the year. So there's the Grows program, which is a partnership that we have with the water utilities.
Mhm.
It happens every second Saturday
Nice.
of the month. It's throughout the city at different venues, and that's all things related to water conservation while gardening. We also have programs that talk about planting roses, how to prune roses, how to plant roses correctly, trees. We're at the home shows twice a year.
Oh, cool.
Um, we also go to schools, so sometimes we've been invited to uh, both independent school districts as well as for example, we just had an event at Loreto Academy where we
Cool.
actually taught the students a little bit of like native plants. So the volunteers are actually the ones that are teaching the kids or teaching the community out there. Uh, so we do have classes, and the
Nice.
majority of them. Oh, and then one thing that I also wanted to mention is
Hmm.
the Master Gardeners also teach the EPCC continuing ed curriculum
Oh, that is
part.
so cool.
So.
Oh, so
Mhm.
you guys do it all.
But it's thanks to all the volunteers because they, for example, the EPCC classes start in spring.
Mhm.
There's also a summer course that people can enroll. So those instructors are certified master gardeners that have prepared, they have specialized, they have taken extra classes on
Yeah.
propagation or soil. So it's really, really something that they are very passionate about, and they love being there with the community as well.
That's awesome. I mean, I've learned a little. I'll be honest. I don't have a green thumb. I usually can keep plants alive pretty well. My uncle and my aunt. I learned a lot from them. My uncle and my aunt. They're amazing. They have green thumbs all around. And like the one thing I can say I'm proud of is I can keep my grass pretty green and very nice during the summer and things like that. But when it comes to a plant, man, I'm gonna probably have to come out and take one of your guys' courses because I am horrible.
And it happens. It happens, and I always tell people, in order for you to become to have a green thumb, you have to go through the process of killing some plants. Okay, that's the reality of things. If you were to go through all the plants that I had to go through and had the experience, that's how you learn. So, um, you go through the experience and go and become a somebody with a green thumb.
Oh, that's awesome. So, let me ask you, what if you give some quick advice on someone who, like, especially 'cause, spring's here, people are gonna start making their way to the nurseries and stuff like that, grabbing some plants and planting them in their gardens and in their pots in the front yard to make their door look a little nicer. What's some of the quick tips you can give to, like, keeping plants like that alive, especially here in the Sun City when it's so hot during the summer?
Perfect question. So, number one, what is the month of March and the month of April? That is when most of us start getting the idea of gardening, which is perfect. That's wonderful. I would say number one is planning.
Mhm.
What are you wanting to use your garden for? Would be the main thing that you have to ask yourself.
Mhm.
If you want to plant your vegetables, then that means that you need to understand how are you going to utilize your space. Probably what do you want to grow and something that you actually want to eat. Hopefully you're not planting plants that you're not gonna potentially eat.
Right.
Uh, the second thing is if you want to do some bigger planning for your garden, specifically with trees. When it comes to planting trees, the best thing that you can do is do your research before we're planting because some of the times we select trees that end up getting 20 feet tall,
Mhm.
and we didn't expect them to get that tall. So remember planning and dedicating the space correctly to the adequate tree.
Yeah.
Also, how much water do you want to spend? There's different types of trees, such as the native trees versus the very ornamental trees. And then when it comes to the plants such as house plants or ornamental plants, one of the things that I always tell consumers is keep in mind that a lot of these plants are might do well during our summers, but they might not survive our freezes.
Mhm.
So I see a lot of people buying hibiscus, a lot of tropical or semi-tropical plants,
Yeah.
but they're not necessarily they're considered more patio plants, so they're not necessarily going to stay alive throughout our winters. So you need to consider some of them have to go indoors during the winter.
Yeah.
And we lack the humidity for a lot of these plants. So you want to make sure that you're supplementing them with water or you're giving them some shade. Even though some of the tags on these plants say full sun,
Mhm. Not,
I
not,
don't think
not
I
full
don't
El
think it
Paso
means
sun.
exactly. El Paso sun is very desiccating, so
Yeah.
there's no humidity and it's too much solar radiation, so it affects plants very harshly.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I mean, I appreciate those tips are so cool because, like, I mean, I know there's, like I said, a lot of people springtime trying to start planning, getting ready to go, and then of course those quick tips are really awesome. I mean, is there like a common mistake like beginners do when they're either planting or getting ready for the springtime with plants or anything like that?
Uh, I wouldn't call it a mistake.
Okay.
I want to say that a lot of the times, one of the things that I would like to mention is that a lot of the big box stores where we end up getting our plants from
Huh?
cater to the entire state or to the entire region. So we have to consider that as a factor because if we're purchasing plants that basically all of the district are receiving,
Mhm.
that means that the big box store that's in Houston is going to receive the same type of plants that El Paso's receiving. They're two different weather, even though we're in the same state, that doesn't mean that we're going to be in the same agricultural zone.
Right.
So a lot of the times people blame themselves. The other thing is, I'll give you an example that's always very easily. We purchase houseplants,
Yeah.
but how many of the houseplants that we purchase are sometimes in the indoor of the big box stores that don't receive enough light? So I don't consider them mistakes. I just consider them more as a sometimes we might not necessarily know enough about that plant in specific
Mhm.
to know how to take care of it and how to adapt it to our house conditions or to our garden conditions. Particularly, one of the main mistakes is um, things that come into my office quite frequently is assuming that something is drought tolerant. Um we unfortunately are receiving, for example, last year we ended up with very, very little rain,
Mhm.
precipitation for the year, as opposed to previous years. And the desert fluctuates every year is different.
Right.
But a lot of people, once they see a mature tree or a established plant, they think, oh, it doesn't need as much water. So if you're thinking that that's the case, it might be that one year we received a lot of rain and you're not giving it a lot of water. The next year we didn't receive enough rain and now the plant is struggling. And by the time that it shows its effects of drought,
Yeah.
it's kind of a little bit late to address it.
Ah,
That's the main thing that comes into our office is uh, the not watering sufficiently for the type of size of plants that we have, or assuming that something is drought tolerant. Because drought tolerant doesn't mean no water.
I know. Yeah. That's me.
Number one.
Sorry. I
Yeah.
did that. That's me.
No, no, and it happens because I always like telling customers or consumers, hey, if you see a lot of green up in the canopy, that means that that is losing water. So the more green that you see up top, that's exactly the. So if you're seeing a very small tree, it's probably not losing as much water
Uh-huh.
as an entire mature tree. So the
Oh.
watering needs to go up with the size of the tree as well.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's good. I appreciate the tips, man, especially, me, no green thumb or whatever. So let's talk about you guys got an event coming up this weekend, Saturday, March 29th. You guys got a plant sale coming
Yes.
up, huh?
We do. We do. So March the 29th at Ascada de Garden, at the Teaching and Demonstration Garden. So if you're driving towards Ascada de Park, don't go into the park. It's right before the entrance to the park.
Okay.
So it's the address is 301 Manny Martinez
Mhm.
Senior Drive, and we're gonna be there from 9 to 12. We're gonna have several different plants for sale. So the master gardeners have been growing several types of tomatoes, some peppers, some herbs, and then they're also gonna have some curated ornamental plants such as succulents or they're gonna have some geraniums, other types of plants that do well for like patio
Uh-huh.
or potted plants.
Oh,
And
cool.
then we're also going to have an information table where you can come and ask us all of your gardening questions. They don't necessarily have to be about vegetables. It can be about trees. It can also be if you have a palm tree and you need help with palm trees, come and ask us those questions. And it's free. It's free
Oh,
to
cool.
the public. Parking is usually, as I said, you're going to go down on mm, the entrance to Escalante Park.
Hmm.
Just don't go past the booth
Yeah,
where they actually charge the entrance. It's right before towards your right.
cool. And so that's Saturday, March 29th, starting at 9 a.m. at 301 Manny Martinez Drive. You're turning into the Escalante, but don't go all the way in. It's right there to your right as you turn in.
Hmm. And
Awesome.
that way you can also get to know the teaching and demonstration garden.
Oh, there you go.
Or
Like you
we,
said, that's awesome. If you have anyone has any questions about the plants they're using or any gardening or plant tips, that's going to be awesome that you guys do that and put that on for everyone and give for free advice. That's so cool.
hmm definitely. And we have some vegetables already planted.
Ooh, all right. That sounds good. I'm gonna see if I can grab. I'll let my uncle know. Maybe we can take a little trip down there next weekend. Be kind of cool. All right.
Yeah.
Just if I was gonna ask, man, if anyone wants to follow you guys, where can they find you on social media?
So we have a Facebook and as well as an Instagram. It's the El Paso Master Gardeners, both on both platforms.
Okay.
Let me just make sure that I give you the correct uh, because I know that then everybody's gonna be, wait a minute, I didn't find you.
Like that wasn't it.
I
No,
know
totally get you, man.
because
Totally get you.
we also have a website.
Yes. Okay.
Um,
Cool. That was my
and
next
then
question.
I would like to also give you the website. So for the website, people can go to txmg.org/El Paso, and it's going to take them to the website for the El Paso Master Gardeners,
Oh, that's awesome.
the specific chapter for the El Paso County,
Okay.
because Master Gardeners are a nationwide program. So there's a chapter for uh, Dallas County or Travis County. So if you can find the one for El Paso as well. And then for our Instagram, it is the EP Master Gardeners. And then on our Facebook is El Paso Master Gardeners on
Awesome.
Facebook.
Awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. Hey, thank you for that info. I'll make sure I put all that information in the description below. That way people can find you on Facebook, Instagram, hit up your guys' website. And then again, don't forget they're having a plant sale Saturday, March 29th, starting at 9 a.m. over at their area over there, the 301 Manny Martinez Drive. That way, if they follow you on Instagram or Facebook, they know all the information going on and they can get a hold of you guys and make sure they get the go ask some questions that are gardening needs.
Yes, definitely. So we're happy to help the community and hope to see a lot of you on the 29th of
Awesome.
March.
Eddie, thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to say, Rad, before we end today?
No, just remember that uh, we encourage people to continue gardening, continue enjoying their green spaces while trying to save water.
Mhm.
We also want to encourage you to reach out to your extension agent. So AgriLife Extension provides you with a lot of services for free. So you have an horticulture extension agent, you have an agricultural extension agent, you have FCH, which is Family and Community Health. You have BLT, Better Living for Texans. You also have 4-H, and we're all located at the second floor of the Escarate Annex. So come and visit us if you ever need any services. We're there for the community. Okay.
Eddie, thank you so much. Eddie Racon with the Rascon, sorry, Rascon with
That's
the
okay.
Texas Master Gardeners here in El Paso. Sir, thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.